In the mist-shrouded village of Umuokoro, nestled among ancient Iroko trees in southeastern Nigeria, 12-year-old Chukwuma roamed with a restless spirit. His slight, 4 feet 8 inches frame, clad in a frayed, oversized agbada dyed a faded indigo, and worn leather sandals crusted with red earth, slipped through the humid air toward the forbidden burial ground. His pale face, sharp cheekbones, and large, storm-gray eyes gleamed with an eerie curiosity beneath his greasy black hair. The villagers, their faces half hidden by palm fronds, murmured about his strange wanderings, their voices drowned by the chirping of crickets. His mother, Nkechi, a frail woman of 5 feet 2 inches with sallow skin and bloodshot hazel eyes, sat in their mud-walled home, her grey-streaked auburn hair tied in a loose wrapper, clutching a beaded rosary as she prayed against her son's dark fate. One humid evening, as the sky glowed like molten yam and the air carried the scent of damp soil and rotting mangoes, Chukwuma crept through the burial ground's gate. His small, bony hands shook as he pushed past the rusted iron, his grey eyes catching a chilling sight, a table draped in a black cloth that seemed to devour light, piled with steaming yam porridge, glistening bushmeat, and bowls of dark, syrupy palm fruit. The feast stood alone among weathered wooden shrines, their carvings faded by time. His upturned nose twitched at the rich aroma, drawing him closer despite the fear not in his stomach. Hunger overpowered him. Chukwuma's bony fingers grasped a sleek, dark palm fruit, its surface gleaming like polished ebony. As he bit into it, the world quaked, the air grew thick, pressing against his thin frame. The fruit tasted of ash and palm oil, and a whisper hissed in his mind, "You've eaten what's ours." Shadows slithered among the shrines, their forms too tall, too thin, limbs twisting unnaturally, faces veiled in darkness. His grey eyes widened, his frayed agbada flapping as he stood rooted, the half-eaten fruit falling to the loamy earth. Chukwuma awoke in his mat, gasping, his mouth still tingling with ash and palm oil. Nkechi hovered over him, her sallow face pale as chalk, her long, hooked nose casting a shadow, her bloodshot hazel eyes wet with fear as she chanted prayers, her faded Umuokoro wrapper clinging to her frail 5 feet 2 inches frame. He tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat, as if bound by an unseen force. The burial ground's whispers trailed him, seeping into the creaks of their mud hut, hissing your hours through the palm leaves rustling outside. Days bled into nights, and Chukwuma's hunger grew ravenous, no food quenching his need. Pounded yam turned to dust in his mouth, egusi stew reeked of decay. At night, his worn sandals dragged him back to the burial ground, his grey eyes vacant, as if pulled by unseen threads. The black table stood waiting, its feast renewed, the air thick with rot and allure. Each bite strengthened the shadow's grip, their forms sharper, their whispers louder, calling him brother with a sinister warmth. His upturned nose flared, his bony hands shaking as he ate, powerless to resist. One night, as Chukwuma sat at the table, a girl emerged from the mist, her 4 feet 7 inches form ghostly, her grey, sunken face faintly glowing. Her empty socket eyes pierced him, her matted, colorless hair hanging like damp raffia, her tattered, mold-stained wrapper clinging to her skeletal frame. "You're almost one of us," she croaked, her broken glass teeth glinting. Chukwuma's grey eyes fixed on his hands, now thinning, translucent, mottled like old palm bark, his frayed agbada hanging looser. The shadows tightened their hold, their twisted limbs brushing his skin like cold mist. In despair, Chukwuma fled to the village dibia, a hunched 5 feet 5 inches man named Obinna, his wrinkled face and bulbous nose stuck under the glow of a palm oil lamp. His cloudy blue eyes peered from deep sockets as he handed Chukwuma a dagger carved with ancient Igbo symbols, his gnarled hands trembling. "Offer them something greater," he said, his sparse grey beard quivering, a string of cowrie shells glinting around his neck. Chukwuma, his grey eyes wild, gripped the dagger, his bony fingers shaking, his frayed agbada streaked with red earth. That night, Chukwuma returned to the burial ground, the dagger heavy in his bony hand, his grey eyes reflecting the moon's pale glow. The black table stood ready, the shadows now monstrous, their glowing eyes like dying embers, chanting his name. His frayed agbada flapped as he raised the dagger, his translucent hands trembling. Blood spilled, dark and steaming, onto the loamy earth, and the shadows wailed, a sound that rent the night. The table vanished, the burial ground silent, the mist swallowing the horror. Dawn broke, and the villagers, their faces etched with fear, found Chukwuma lifeless among the shrines, his grey eyes closed, his frayed agbada soaked with dew. The dagger lay clutched in his translucent hand, his face serene, as if freed from a curse. The burial ground's gate was sealed, the villagers' murmurs fading into the mist, swearing silence. Yet on moonless nights, the burial ground hums, voices calling for the boy who ate the food of the dead. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button for more awesome stories. See you in the next one.